Hello and welcome everybody. I'm RC. I'm a Halo speedrunner. I like Halo. I like doing it really fast. I like playing campaign, and I like doing it on really high difficulties in more recent years. This is the ninth and final level of Halo Reach, Bungie's final entry in the Halo series. On Legendary, all skulls on, including the blind, as you can see. Opening up, I want this guy's concussion rifle, so I'm going to take him out as quick as I can. Sometimes these guys are exploding around me. Gonna pick it up really quickly there. Remember that I've picked it up. This video, just the gameplay of it, was posted quite a long time ago. It's quite an old speedrun, but nobody's actually beaten it with all skulls on yet. So a lot of people, they didn't quite notice that I picked up the concussion rifle, and they were like, where did you get that concussion rifle? When I use it, towards the end of the level actually. So on Legendary, I'd have usually picked up the rocket launcher. Unfortunately, the rocket launcher is not powerful enough on Legendary All Skulls On. You're going to need to go even bigger than that. And I'll show you what I mean when I get to the end of the level. So, the concussion rifle seems smaller to start with, but it enables you to get to something bigger. So, look forward to that. Anyway, the Mongo section isn't any different. You just have to slide through it. I like just going along the path, just going this S-line sort of curve. I find it fairly reliable, I find it fairly safe. There's no jumping down huge ledges and having your mongoose flip around to ridiculous places and have to flip it back over and stuff. Like this level is so hard, and there's so many enemies you got to get through, so many tricks you got to master if you want to go fast, that just throwing in extra ones there are just pointless, man. Obviously you could do it if you want, but to beat this one, that's not where you'd be saving the time. It'd be much later on. We should slow down a little bit because I don't want to get shot by him, just like on Legendary. The start is mostly the same. It gets crazier towards the end. Oh, just gonna knock off my shield so I can actually pick up this health pack, because you can't pick it up when you still got full health, because obviously it's a health pack even though it does recharge your shields. Just sprint jump here. There's a whole bunch of brutes and grunts and a few jackals off to the right here, basically bypassing all them. There's also a wraith tank that I don't have to deal with at all. Just sprint along the top of these rooftops, jump up here to the ledge. You're going to see a couple of groups of enemies, throw a grenade, and then sometime, for some reason, the grenade being in proximity to them just makes them explode instantaneously for some reason. And then just going to sprint up here and activate the cutscene. You can watch that if you want at your own time. So this is the bugger section. Now, I mentioned this when I did the commentary for my Legendary run just last week. But there is actually a way to skip this, which I didn't know at the time that I did this run. And even though I have tried to go back to it and include tricks like that and even more tricks later on, I was never able to pull it off in a whole level run. But basically, you use concussion rifle just after the scene that you get after the scarab. You go up the right side of the wall, and then you go across. You sprint across above the load zone for these guys. You drop down on the other side, and then none of these buggers actually turn up. Does mean that you cannot get the needle rifle, which is fairly useful towards the end of this level mission. You do have to rely on the DMR, and you have to be a lot more accurate with it than you would be if you had the needle rifle. But you save a lot of time without having to shoot all these guys. You get really good at popping these guys in the head when you played it as much as I have. My skills are probably atrophied by now, and it'd look embarrassing if I played it for you live right now. Past RC is still good at it. 3 skirmishes. I think there's 3. Well, Meal's already having a party with them. So this run is obviously pretty long, as you can see from the video, but it is 28 minutes 46 seconds, and that's from the moment I gain control to the moment I lose control, discounting load times and cutscenes. Because basically use the in-game theater timer, use a time bar that you can bring up there, because obviously blind hides the one that you get from the scoring feature. The time works out pretty much the same. There's just, you know, a little bit of error maybe because you have to add up the sections manually. One of the other things you could have done there is grab the needle rifles. I decided not to this time. That's not what I want. I want the health pack. There we go. And I do actually want this bubble shield because it's got the healing property in Halo Reach. Just checking I actually have it. Of course, the Boneyard section. One of my early videos was showing how to get through this. Oh, it feels so long ago, doesn't it? Of course, you just throw a little grenade. Hopefully I'm not going to get shot in the back. Throw a grenade, jump up. Oh god, that was bad. Now, fortunately, because of Till, I didn't take quite as much damage as I would have done on Legendary, so I did have opportunity to have another shot at it. And there's going to be a health pack just through the archway there. If you don't want to do the grenade jump, you can jump on the piece of wreckage that's literally just behind you when you do that jump. Get my health pack. Just have to do either a sprint crouch jump or just a straight crouch jump up to the top. Don't have infinite sprint, or inbuilt sprint rather, like you do in Halo 4. So I've got my bubble shield, so I'm now moving a little bit slower. Bypassing so much enemies. There's like turrets below me, there's a ghost, some elites. Just going across the little bridge. And there's actually some of them shooting at me, but I'm pretty much safe. Jump around, I'm losing my shields at this point. You can die here sometimes. Hopefully the elite to my right doesn't see me instantly. Oh, the one ahead of me shooting me. Run in, jump in, going around to the side. No, so I've made it that far. Don't want to use my bubble shield because there is actually going to be a health pack in the next room. Throw some grenades, try and soften up these jackals or kill them. Because if you take a little bit too long, they can start coming up the stairways to you and shooting at you as you're trying to make your way up the side wall here. Because you must have seen this trick before, mate. You know, you don't go running straight and down. Don't go jumping out that window. Don't go down these stairs on the left. Keep on the right side of this room. Melee the grunts for shields back. Want to jump on this little round thing. I don't know what it is. Jump onto the girders, jump onto the pipes, and then jump on the very top of the highest pipe. You want to jump straight up and then across, and it's a crouch jump as well. And I was dropping down the bubble shield there to give me a little bit of, well, a shield so that I don't take any extra fire from that elite or those jackals while I was having a couple of attempts at that. Waiting for the phantom to go and then having a little sprint around the corner. The benefit of doing that, if you do what I did, don't deviate from the course. I have to explain this so many times in comments. Sounds like I'm complaining in these last couple of videos a lot. But seriously, that's why I do commentary now, so I don't have to explain everything in the comments. I go to the right here. When you're jumping through that window, you want to be on the right, as far right as you possibly can. The trigger for all the enemies in this room is basically built into the door, and it's a volume around the door. So if you go through the window on the left hand side, you'll still hit the trigger. Or if you go through the window and then you back into the door, you'll also trigger them. What you want to do is go through the window on the right hand side, don't stay away from the door, and so this gives you the whole room so you can explore. Can't get through this door, the enemies do need to be triggered, and then there's a trigger on the stairway that you came up to the second level. Those both need to be triggered to get through this door. But what I'm doing is setting up a little barricade. so that it's much easier for me to take out the elite that comes out of this door. Obviously this takes some time, and you think, why are you doing that in a speedrun, man? Well, because it is still legendary, all schools on. And if you have blind off, then obviously you know how much health you have, you know how much shield you have, you know how much ammo you have. It's much easier to assess your possibilities and be more aggressive. A little bit of ammo in here. Gonna grab some just before I activate all the enemies in this room. So there's an elite and 3 grunts that come out of that final door, so they're all going to be trapped in there now. The elite's going to be pretty much static, he's going to be easy to kill. And I hit the door, and then all the enemies start spawning. So 3 jackals up there with the needle rifles are the first priority. Grab a little bit of my ammo because there's a DMR just on the ground behind me there. And there's a camo elite in here somewhere, can't see him right yet. In the meantime, we're just going to focus on killing all these guys. These jackals are one of the things you could have maybe brought a needle rifle for, and then opted for, you could kill them fairly quickly, either super combines 3 shots in the hands or make them dodge and then headshot. Can get a little bit tricky with the DMR. I'm trying to shoot their feet, make them move around. So it's an old run, doesn't have all the latest tricks in it. If you did include like all the tricks, you could probably do this like under 17 minutes, and that'd be so awesome. But there's so many things you have to master, so many things that can go wrong because you're just going to get murdered by enemies, or you do tricks that are really quite complicated. But nobody has managed it with all schools on yet. Please, have a go if you think you're hard enough. Seriously, I'd love to see it. Gonna pick some more ammo up. Switch to a plasma pistol temporarily. I am gonna come back for my concussion rifle. So I've hit the trigger, moved up, now I can see him. Ah, he's not so hard anymore, is he? Then gonna throw a grenade, try and knock those crates out of the way, so I can actually take out these grunts. If you don't do that, if you don't have the little barricade, alternatives basically are either using the sword and killing him, or perhaps using a needle rifle, but then it does use up ammo, or just being lucky with him crouching down behind one of the boxes, something like that. You can be more aggressive with all the jackals as well. You can come around to the sort of little hut there, go around the fencing and be sort of right in front of them, and that makes it easier for them to be sort of trying to dodge the side to side and reveal their heads to you and get the headshots quicker if you were just using the DMR. Okay, getting towards the final area now. Just got one little room of guys. Yeah, marine reinforcements that aren't going to come with me. Throw a grenade if you got it. If you haven't, you're just going to headshot them. Ow. I kind of want my shields back though. Oh, thank you. So, in the final area, if you look up to the right, straight ahead of me right at the minute, Mac gun. That's what I want eventually. And you can go up there right now. Basically, I was afraid that I was going to screw it up. I was afraid that I was going to run out of ammo. So I'm going to clear a bunch of enemies first, then go up. And if you do it super fast, you do it right away, you can just get up in there to kill that second phantom before it drops off the extra brutes that it's got, and like 3 grunts as well. And you need to do that because otherwise you're going to be really struggling for ammo to take out the rest of the infantry. You take out several of the phantoms with the Mac cannon, but not all of them. How'd you get up there? Well, you might have seen it before. Just gonna have to wait a little bit. If you don't go up there, obviously just staying where I am right now is still the best place for headshotting all the guys. Bring your DMR. Obviously, if you didn't want to go up there and you're too afraid of that, you'd not bring the concussion rifle, and you would bring a needle rifle as well. You'd have lots of ammo to take out all these guys. Needle rifle for all the brutes, and DMR for everything else, basically. And that's the way I first did it, and it took me like 45 minutes or something like that in total. Just working my way through them. When you first come into this area, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of DMR ammo around. There's a sniper rifle on top of the hut to the left, and there's one DMR down by a tree near where those brutes are. What you may not realize instantly is there's actually a crate hidden inside this wall. So one of the safest ways is to touch that box there against the wall, and then look at that, it's weird, it's all glitching and coming out. Probably everybody knows this by now, but if you don't, I'm just pointing it out, explaining it. You can also come outside and just sort of jump up against the wall and touch it. That's a riskier method because sometimes the crate will come flying out of the wall at supersonic speed and splatter you against a rock face. That's actually happened, it's hilarious. But there's loads of DMR in there, ammo in there, and if you're aiming well, you shouldn't run out. So there are 2 enemies. Each time we get down to 2 enemies in each wave, that's when the next wave is going to come in. So currently I'm hoping there's about 3 enemies left. So that means the next wave is just delayed, it's just on the cusp of being activated. And now I'm going to do the trick. So I've got my cushion rifle. Crouch down, throw my grenade, concussion rifle jump all the way up. My shields are wrecked by now, but I've got just enough health to do one more jump, like this, and I'm right on the top. And now the Mac cannon is mine. That's actually the hard way of doing it. It's ridiculously hard to do that, to get the grenade in the right place and to get all 3 concussion rifles. The method you should be doing, if you're even considering that, is you stand on the top of the railing for that stairway that I was just in front of when I was there. You put down a bubble shield on top of that, and then you use the concussion rifle to jump first from the railing, and then use the concussion rifle to jump from the top of the bubble shield that you just put down, and then so you have 2 places that you jump off sort of straight up in a line, and then you can get onto the pipes slightly further back using that method. That was one of the improvements in tactics that I always wanted to show in a sequel to this, but I could never get it down. Maybe in the future. It's still on the list of things to do, but the list is ever increasing. So second wave's coming in. That was one of the phantoms with enemies. Hop in the Mac cannon, take it out straight away. This one on the right, I can't turn the Mac cannon far enough around to take it out, so these guys I'm going to have to take out just with my DMR, and eventually I'm going to have to take them out on foot. There's a couple of brute chieftains in there. On legendary they're like simple. I just shoot them with a rocket launcher, or I can snipe them with the sniper rifle that's right there. And this phantom I was really pissed off at, so I wanted to shoot that out of the air as well. Completely unnecessary. So I'm just looking for the jackals, because those are the only ones I can take out from up here. There's also, is that a brute left? I'm gonna have to take him out too. And you do want to try and hide yourself from the brute captains, the chieftains, sorry. Because if you can keep yourself concealed with them. It's possible to jump down at the end of this fight. Not yet. Don't get ahead of yourself. But at the end of the fight, you can jump down and you can assassinate them, hopefully while they're distracted by Marines. But if you get spotted, that's either difficult or impossible. So there they are. Chieftains are engaging the Marines. I'm trying to not stand too close to the edge there. Don't think I managed that. I think one of them probably spotted me already. There's the Jackals. So as I said, down to 2 enemies, then the next wave comes in. So the 2 enemies are just the 2 brute chieftains. And the final wave is 2 phantoms. I can see both of them. That one and that one. That was the 3rd wave. Done already. Just because I'm angry. I'm super angry. And it's also because it's awesome. I also was one of the first people to spend a huge obscene amount of time in this Mac cannon, getting up here early and just racking up like millions of points. I can't even remember how much I got, like 10 million or something. No, I got 7,770,000. I was trying to get 7 sevens, but it didn't quite work. Anyway, so Brute Chieftain. This guy's hilarious. Draw him to the edge, shoot him with concussion rifle. Bye. Brute Chieftain, much trickier. Where is he? I think he spotted me. So I'm moving off and I'm going to try and plasma pistol him. Yeah. Where is he? Oh, come on. Don't be timid on me now. Just going to try and plasma pistol him from a distance, just like I was doing with a bunch of elites and like basically all the other levels. Got his shields. Now just matter of trying to get his helmet off. Huh, kind of reminds you of the knights from Halo 4, doesn't it? Shields and the helmets. Dear. Fortunately, their shields don't recharge as quickly as the knights in Halo 4 do. Bloody hell. Got his helmet. Come on, come on, come on. Yes. And although I said each wave comes in when down to 2 enemies, the fight doesn't end until at least those guys are dead and 2 enemies. If the 2 chieftains are the last 2 alive, it doesn't trigger until they're dead. But if they're all dead earlier, the Pelican will be coming in when there's only just like a brute captain or a grunt left. So bear that in mind. If you can take them out earlier, great. In co-op, have your co-op partner take them out. Oh, getting close to the end now. So, just a few grunts, an engineer, and a bunch of zealot elites between me and the Mac cannon. Again. Got a date with a cruiser. I've got to punch a hole through its gut. Or something like that. Got the Fury gun. Not sure why, to be honest. There's actually a engineer inside there. You can see him sometimes peeking through the door. Can I see him? Oh, there he is. Obviously want to go for his head, which is really, really tiny. Knock his little helmet off and then shoot him in the head. That's the quickest way to kill him. Alternative to that is just obviously just dumping ammo into his body. And then eventually the shields that they give to the enemies will wear off, and then everything else is much easier to kill. So I'm going to end up killing everything in this room basically. This is basically my old school strategy. The faster, more aggressive, dumb strategy is basically to do what I did on Legendary. And then run through, go up to the stairs and kill just the field marshal who's got the Fjord cannon and the sword right next to the Mac cannon. And then try and hide from the other 2. I think that's what Mythic Tyrant did in his run of this, his guide as well. I could never pull that off though. I always get shot by those guys too much, and then I got destroyed by all the phantoms and the banshees when I was trying to take the 2 shots at the cruiser. So I went up there, a couple of little just jumps up that machinery. What that did was push those guys back from the top of the stairs. So now I have sort of ownership of this top of the stairs. And then I'm going to Plasma Pester the rest of the guys here. This was the method that I always preferred because I found it most reliable. I mean, obviously they can duck in between these pillars and a lot of people didn't like it. Alternative to this was going on the level below, going into the little machine shop rooms and hiding by one of the doors. And these guys would often come down and go into those rooms, and hopefully they would be distracted long enough, and maybe you'd use a hologram as well, and you'd be able to get assassinations on them. I never liked that. I felt it was too risky. More jumps. What this does, this one brings me in behind like a fencing that I can actually shoot through with my plasma pistol, but the field marshal can't shoot at me. Hello. By far the safest way to take this guy out. Obviously you can be like super aggressive and boss mode and go in with just a needle rifle or something and make him dodge and jump down from, if you rushed in like I described on Legendary. This is by far the safest way, and if you fail, they keep dodging too much, you can go back for more plasma pistol. Got your head, and there you go. And now the entire area is mine. Can have a little inhale. Where's the health pack? There we go. Thank you. And what I'm looking for now, just because I'm super paranoid, is going to swap out my armor ability for the hologram, because it does distract the fire of the phantoms and the banshees that will be coming out in the final sort of section of this mission, which obviously is being in the Mac cannon again, and it's sort of implied that you would sit in there and just shoot at all the things coming at you. I've actually seen a couple of people's videos of doing that on Legendary, all scores on. I could never do it. I always got ripped to shreds. So I would have a go at a few of them, and then I'm like, no, I'm gonna hide, man. Forget it. I'm just gonna hide at the bottom of the stairs. Check out the shiny plasma grenades. Use my grenades. I mean, waste them. Say ha 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 ha, lol lol lol. Made him look like such a joke. Hardest enemy in the game, my ass. Okay. Nearly there, guys. Whole game on Legendary goes on. Finally commentated, uploaded on my channel, even though the vids are ancient. When this was first posted, it was posted on High Speed Halo. It was also posted on a channel called MythicLASO by some random guy. I don't even know who he was. He just asked to post it, and I said sure. Actually got quite a lot of views. Oh, Banshee. So, I mentioned that it takes 2 shots to gut this guy. That's because of the Mythic Skull. I'm running up there. That's distracting them a little bit. The Mythic Skull doubles the health of the cruiser, so I've got to take 1 shot and then a 2nd shot. That's not a miss, that's actually how many shots I have to take. See, it's all done. Pillar of Autumn, Legendary, all scores on. 28 minutes, 46 seconds, it's really long. And there's plenty of ways you could beat that. So, go have a go. Yeah, go beat it. Legendary, all scores on. And send me the video because I like to see that. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. Thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you soon in another video.